Can you guys hear me? Hello, hello. There is a lag when you go live, so it's anywhere between 20 and 40 seconds. All right, well, I'm just going to go ahead and get started. So this is my first premiere as far as doing a live stream. Kind of looking forward to it. I've had a lot of requests on kind of the behind the scenes type stuff. So in today's live stream, it is just going to kind of be a pilot, getting my feeling for doing some live streams here. With that being said, I'm getting an echo from somewhere. Hold on. All right, good. So today's live stream, I get a lot of questions about Zoopoxy and how the application goes. So my main objective is to just kind of show you that process. I know in a lot of the Facebook groups and stuff like that, I've been hearing a lot of comments about people wanting to get to be using Zoopoxy. How does it work? What is it? Is it a clay? Is it an epoxy? Is it liquid? So we'll kind of dive into some detail there. And then I'll go ahead and apply it to the 8x4x6 paludarium. And then while it's kind of hardening and stuff like that, I'll take some questions and answers and then go back to it and show you how I detail it. My wife's going to be helping out. She is a little camera shy. She's 35 months pregnant. So she's going to be asking some questions that you guys are asking in the live chat and just kind of going from there. So first and foremost, how's everybody doing? I do see the chat kind of popping off. Serenity, what's up? Ryan, what's up? Strong Roofing, what's going on? Bioactive Reptile World, what's happening? Karen, how you doing? Fearsome 66, what's up? Ravishing Reptiles, what's going on, my man? Thanks for the super chat. I appreciate that. Dan, how you doing? UK in the house. Yeah, you got to represent, man. We got to unite. I love it. Bob, how you doing? Gary, yeah. What's up, Gary? Oh, so yeah, let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to go just kind of show you realistically all the behind the scenes stuff that I do to make all these builds. A lot of them do take some time, aside from working a full-time job, building out a reptile room, and also creating content for all you all. I really do enjoy doing this. I like teaching, I like showing, and in turn, what it does is it helps benefit our animals, right? To live more naturalistically and kind of get that more natural feel. We're able to see them a little bit more, I guess you can say, in their natural environment while being in captivity and in our care. So cool stuff. Let's go ahead and head up to the garage where I have all the Zoopoxy pretty much set up, and we'll go from there. So I gotta make sure you guys can hear me all right, right? See it in the comments? All right, cool. We got Honey the supervisor always on on alert. All right, so Zoopoxy is very simple to use. I did just pick up 10 more gallons. So with that being said, I just kind of perfect time to be able to do a live stream and show you the pretty much from start to finish process and how we do this. But what I do is I just kind of get a cardboard box, cut it down a little bit, take a garbage bag, and this is going to be for our thickening agent. Got some questions?
Yeah. Department as how expensive is it?
How expensive is Zoopoxy? So it really depends. I buy it in bulk. It's much cheaper that way. But I believe you can get 2 gallons for about 50 bucks. With that being said, the 10-gallon kit, if you got a lot of ground to cover, trying to hit a lot of miles with it, it is going to be your best friend in that aspect, because you'll be able to use it, you know, on multiple enclosures, and it really doesn't go bad. So this is thickening agent. What I usually do is I'll wear a respirator, but just so you guys can hear me, I'm going to be putting on these good old masks that we got back in the COVID days. So I am going to be wearing one. Now, I don't necessarily know that you need to be wearing one. I just do because there is some dust that kicks up only with the thickening agent. When I'm actually applying it to the hardscape, you don't need to be wearing a mask. So, and I don't know if you want to wear one too. So this is just a powder. It's going to act as if it's your flour, as if you were kneading dough. And it doesn't, what this does is it stops the Zoopoxy from sticking to your gloves and whatever you're putting it in. So what I have noticed is whenever I have a fresh batch and there's not kind of a layer already on the bottom that has been sticky and the thickening agent sticks to it. With that being said, so once you get that bottom layer of Zoopoxy kind of on the bottom and the thickening agent to the top, it's much easier to work with inside of here, but until that happens, it can be a little bit of a pain. So I do go a little heavy with the thickening agent just because it's a little bit easier to work with it that way as well. And then you want to come over here. So this is Zoopoxy. You have part A and part B. It's a two-part epoxy. And when you mix it together, you got a decent amount of time to be able to work with it. So you'll see here as I go through it. So once again, this is part A here. Yeah, look at all that goodness. So I used to use dry lock a lot, which works great for some animal species, but when it comes to varanids or anything that has some crazy nails, I just don't see the dry lock holding up over time. So I got this. All right. Gloves are going to be your friend. Now, before I get this rolling, I do have a cookie sheet over there, and that's where I'm going to be putting the Zoopoxy after I mix it. Once again, water is your best friend when it comes to working with this stuff. So what water does is it doesn't allow the Zoopoxy to stick. So that way it won't stick to the aluminum foil. Now, I have 2 sticks down here for part A and 2 sticks for part B. You don't want to mix these sticks when you're scooping it out because, well, what you're going to be doing is you're going to have, if you're mixing the sticks, what's going to happen, it's going to mix the Zoopoxy, and you don't want to be going into the bucket because then you'll contaminate and cross-contaminate part A and part B. So one of these sticks is for to be able to scoop it off when I scoop it out. So what you want to do with this is just put it in the thickening agent and get it on there so it doesn't stick to the stick, if that makes sense. You'll be able to see it here in a second. I'm going to do kind of some smaller mixing. If you're starting out with this stuff, it's probably important to start a little bit smaller. It's easier to work with that way. So I'll do a smaller one, and then after that, I'll go and do the normal size that I typically do. So Um, Anytime you get a new batch, you never know how it's going to be. Sometimes it's a little bit thicker. Sometimes it's a little bit, I guess, more gooier. So we'll see what this one's like. It looks like it's a little, yeah, this is pretty nice. So what you do is you just grab a little bit of a part A, and then you're going to drop it down in. Make sure you got the powder. This way it'll slide right off. See how that worked? Really nice that way. So you want to try and get as close to a 50-50 blend as possible. Do we have any questions so far? Or?
Just from Gary, most monitors says my Tegu enclosure is all dry lock, and it's been 3 years. It's starting to break through. Put like a million coats on it when I first did way too much, and now I need to redo a lot of it.
Yeah. I get that, Gary. And can you guys hear her talking? So I got a microphone here. It's pretty short range. So if you guys can't hear her, I can repeat the question, or if you can hear her, I can just go ahead and answer.
Just a shout out from Bioactive, Reptiles World. I love your channel, Serenity Dragon. Not much can stand up to a Tegu or monitor's man.
Yeah.
In response to Gary.
Yeah. And Gary, so good point. Like on my Aki enclosure, I put on 7 or 8 coats of dry lock, and I have my Mertens in there now. I moved the Aki out for temporarily until, you know, the Mertens enclosure is built, the one I'm working on now. And it has been holding up. Although if they get much bigger, I'm going to be in the same situation you are with doing repair jobs and all that kind of stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and take part B. Same process with the stick. So you want to use different sticks too, once again. So I got a total of 4, right? 2 for A, 2 for B. And get this going. So part B is sometimes a little bit more gooier, which I've noticed. So it doesn't look horrible with this one, but we'll see. Yeah, it's gooey. So once again, you want to try and get as close to 50% as possible. The nice thing with Zoopoxy is it doesn't have to be exact, where other putty epoxies, you need it dialed in 100%. I've been able to even get away with like a 60-40 split. So just to get an idea on how much I have, you want to just kind of cover it as if you would dough. And I just kind of get an idea, okay, that's about how big that one is. Yeah, this stuff is really loose. So I do need to add just a little bit more of part B. And that should be good. Yeah.
Serenity Dragon. Does it get hot once mixed like some other? Oh.
Yeah, definitely. Other epoxies, it's going to work the same way. It will heat up. Now, the thinner it is, the hotter, the less hot it'll be. But if I didn't like spread this and I kept it as is, after mixing it, it'll get super hot. You'd be surprised. Not enough to do damage to like the inside of an enclosure, but definitely get warm for you. So I don't know if you can see what's happening here. So I'm just kind of putting it together. And now I'm just going to start folding it over on each other. The thickening agent is going to allow it to get a little bit thicker and easier to work with. So I don't want to smash it in between my fingers, because if I do that, it'll come all up on my gloves. You just want to kind of keep folding it over. Now, when I had Alex and Will over by my place, they got to kind of experiment with this a little bit. So Alex, Will, if you guys are in the chat, let me know what your thoughts were with working with it. So I'm trying to get out of the light here. So once you get it to a good consistency, you can actually kind of start picking it up. Just keep folding it over on each other. This stuff is amazing. I love it. I want to give a shout out to Mike's Monitors, Mike Stefani, for turning me onto this stuff. Every time I go over by his place, and I remember the first time I went over by his place, just seeing the work you can do with Zoopoxy, my mind was blown. I used to do a lot of work with dart frogs, which didn't require the structurally sound hardscape, because dart frogs aren't going to tear it up like varanids. So after seeing his place, and like I said, just seeing what he was able to do with it and successfully keep a nice hardscape together with varanids, there was no question in my mind that this was going to be the way to go. So that's kind of one of them there. So what I'll do then, once again, I have the water down here and just kind of put it right on there, and I can move on to the next. So this one here, I'm going to do it a little bit bigger. I just kind of wanted to show you, if it's your first time or if you're thinking about working with it, definitely make a smaller pile, your first one, just to kind of get an understanding of working with it. Yeah.
We got a Christina saying she can't find Zoopoxy. Any suggestions?
What? Where do you live, Christina? So, United States, I believe, is the only place you can get it. Another good person to talk to if you're over in the UK or UK area would be Riddler Reptiles. He might have an idea on where to source a similar type epoxy. He does a lot of custom builds. He does pretty much the same kind of stuff I do. So if you're not already subscribed to his channel, go check him out. And then also message him on Instagram for some extra details and information. Is there another question? Or all right, so this is what I typically do as far as size. And I'll usually knock out, it's hot in here, 5 or 6 of these before I actually apply it to the walls of a hardscape. So usually I can get 5 or 6 of these done in about 20 minutes. And I'm not trying to talk to a camera and all you guys and just trying to, you know, really go through it, throw on some Pantera or Slipknot and jam out.
The questions, Bioactive Reptile World, can you get it in Texas?
Yes, you can get it in Texas. So they do ship anywhere in the US. They used to be located about 20 minutes from me. Now they're about 45 minutes. So I'm not sure what shipping costs are. From what I've heard, it's about, depending on how much you get, right? I think the 10-gallon kit, I think it's actually about 120 bucks to ship. But the 2-gallon kits, much cheaper than that.
We got a comment from Matty Dodsey. Have you tried keeping your gloves wet while mixing?
No. Good question. Good question, Matt. So with the powder, it would work against you. Now, when I apply it, you'll see me dipping my hands in water just to keep it from sticking to my gloves. I mean, you can see how sticky this stuff is. And it's really, I don't want it to be intimidating. It is super easy to work with. And when I think about the dry lock process, that can take time. And Gary, I heard you, talking about how you use dry lock in your Tegu enclosure. You understand how long that can take too. If you're putting down anywhere between 5 and 10 coats of that, you got to wait for it to dry. You got to paint it, which is a painful process. So this takes longer to cover square inch over the dry lock, but I do think it goes a little bit quicker as far as coverage. All right, so that should be good. It is hot in here, guys. Getting into July. Happy July 4th. Everybody coming up next week. Once again, this is about this size. Sometimes I'll go a little bit bigger, and you can see, so it broke on me, so it got a little sticky, but a little bit of thickening agent, and then just kind of keep moving with it. This part B, this batch is definitely running through the fingers a little bit easier than normal. It's nice when it's a little bit thicker out of the can, because then you don't have to work with it as much. But pretty much what you want to do is mix it until all the marbling is gone. So definitely, if there's no questions going on right now, I'm curious for when I go back through and read this, what kind of animals you guys got. So if you want to drop it in the chat, what are you caring for? What are you working with? And then also any new plans you have as far as building out their enclosures and just kind of making it a little bit more naturalistic. Or if you've already made it look all naturalistic, what were some of your funnest things to do while building that out?
A comment from Matthew. Just about to start my background. What would be a good coating for foam available globally? Most of these products are hard to get outside of the US.
Matthew, what are you building it for?
Next question, while we wait for Matthew, is from Gary. Most monitors, does it give off a gas while curing?
No. No, it actually cures underwater too, which is pretty cool. And I do know some zoos, they do repair jobs with this while the animals are still inside, whether that's on the land or in the water.
Matthew said for Panther Chameleon.
Oh, cool. Do you have insulation board? Because if you have insulation board, also known as XPS board, I did my Panther Chameleon enclosure. Check it out if you haven't seen it already. The only time I used XPS insulation board for all the walls. The only time I used spray foam was going over the pot holders. I'm not sure what they offer outside of the US. I know Lite has one. Check out Amazon. And then also, once again, I'll refer my buddy Riddler Reptiles. Shoot him a message on Instagram because I know he does work with the spray foam, and he's over in the UK. So this is about the size I use. Sometimes I will go a little bit larger when making all these, but you know what? I'll do one more. Whew, it's hot. I'm sweating. I don't know if I can get these gloves on.
We got a lot of people listing all their amazing reptiles on here.
Sweet.
And Gary most monitors. And the human I raised. Got some people coming in from the UK.
All right. Sending my UK love to all you. All right, so I'll do one more.
Got an Amy Reptile Adventures. What's up, guys? Just got here. What's up, Brad?
What's up, Amy? I think she's down in Florida, so she has an amazing opportunity to work with a lot of different animals down there just for the weather that you get.
You have a Filthy Lunatic 3 for filtration with monitors. Is it best to double down on filters?
Good question. Doubling down on filters with monitors, I think it really depends on what kind of monitor you have. With my Asian water monitor, the Varanus Coming Eye, that's a dump and fill system, mainly because they poop in the water and their bio load would be nuts. I do know some people that have some really good success with some really crazy filtration systems that are custom made, which takes a lot of room just for those. For the enclosure I'm working on now, it's for the Mertens, and they don't poop in the water as much. So that's why I got a huge water feature for them. I have the Owasi Biomaster Thermal 850, and I got two of them. So it has a heater on the inside. It has an easy, pretty much an easy clean system too, so you don't mess with all the biological media in there. So you can just rinse out the sponge filters.
Filthy Lunatic had a secondary question. Should I let the filter process go through 2 weeks before housing these animals?
I gotcha. So what was the question?
The follow-up, it was in the same comment. Should you let the filter process go through about 2 weeks before housing any animals?
Should you let the filtration process go about 2 weeks before housing any animals? I mean, I think it's always a good idea to do that. I think it really depends on what you're going to be housing. If you're going to have fish in there, I would definitely check the levels to make sure that those are all in range. Just because otherwise you'll have dead fish. Monitors are a little bit easier to work with, but it's always good to get some healthy, beneficial bacteria in there to help fight off, I guess, any mess that they make, right? Whether that's urates, whether that's them defecating in the water, it's just going to help out a little bit.
Web Weaver Official. Hey, Brad, big fan of the channel and all that you do, my dude. Very inspiring stuff. I currently have no projects to work on, but do plan on building a large enclosure like a 10 by 6 by 28.
That sounds like fun.
Web Weaver Official.
I'll ask again. Can you guys hear my wife when she reads off questions? Because I'm trying to focus on this. I would reiterate what the question is, but I'm just trying to knock this out too at the same time. All right.
Yes.
So this is about typically the size that I make. And you'll know when it's ready. One, like I said, there won't be any marbling. And after you start working with it a little bit, you'll just kind of feel it. And you'll know, okay, that's ready to go. It's still easily to maneuver, but it's not so crazy sticky that it's gonna stick to everything. And like you want it to stick, but you want it nicely mixed. And you'll just, like I said, you'll feel it after you start working with it. If it starts sticking too much to your gloves, just throw some thickening agent on it.
Gary, most monitors do making it look this easy. Has Zoopoxy decided to sponsor or hire you as face of the company yet?
Thanks, Gary. So I do have one of my videos up on their website that they posted, and they were giving me some discounts. They did just get bought out, so they kind of have different leadership now. I did sit down with the CEO back when it was owned by the old owner. Great dude. Walked in there. Wasn't expecting to sit down with him and talk to him for about 2 hours. I'm hoping here in the near future, I'll be able to meet with the new owners and try and work something out, you know. Never hurts to try. I found that in life, so.
Yeah, Ellie Reptiles, this is such a relaxing live screen format, and you're right behind the camera. Works so great.
All right, thank you. Appreciate it. And who is that? I'm sorry.
Ellie Reptiles.
Hey, what's up? All right, so this is what I got mixed up. Typically, like I said, I'll do about 5 or 6 of these, and it takes me about 20 minutes. This smaller one was just to kind of give you all an idea of what to start with if you're getting this for yourself, just so you can kind of go through that learning curve of working with it. So, cool. Let's head back downstairs. Get out of this hot garage. It is brutal. Chicago, you get all 4 seasons, and then it's lunchtime. Whew. Doesn't help having the mask on too. Suffocating. All right. All right, so put this over here. You might need this later. Put that there for you. All right, so this is the 36 8x4x6 paludarium that we're jamming through. I did take about a 3-week wait just because I was waiting for more Zoopoxy to get in, so I really couldn't do much. So I did kind of start prepping a few different things, getting it ready. So I'll show you what I will be doing next with this build.
Thomas or Rex, just want to say thank you, Brad, for all the great ideas and inspiration. Much appreciated.
Yeah, anytime, Thomas, man. I appreciate the comments. So I could, you know, just kind of build this and do it for my own eyes and stuff. But one of the benefits I see with creating this stuff, editing, you know, uploading, and really just trying to show others the trial and error that I went through so y'all don't have to go through it. And then also kind of maybe get some new ideas on different approaches on, you know, enhancing the lives of our animals. So, yeah. So I'll jump in here. This is how I have to get in and out. It is a big enclosure. So future plans, I'm going to have a big waterfall at the top here, and that'll be my PVC pipe coming down. And I'm just gonna, it's gonna come down through here, big ledge, come out, come down through here. This is gonna be for my electric work, so I have a hole drilled here, and there'll be just a simple desk grommet on the other side for the cord to come through. That'll be here. Now this will all be covered with XPS board and foam, and I'm gonna have a pipe coming down to here to this bucket down here where I'll have my pump. So that way it'll be secure and the Mertens won't be able to really mess with it or get out. And it'll also be watertight for when the water, because I mean, there's going to be water 2+ feet in here. So looking forward to that. So for putting on the Zoopoxy, I want to make sure that it's 100% watertight. Were there any questions with that at all, or is it just kind of, I heard you say?
No, just some shout outs.
So I got this bowl of water, and it might be hard to work with it that way, unless you can move it. So I got a bowl of water, dip my hands in here so the Zoopoxy doesn't stick to my gloves. I'll show you what happens if I don't dip it in the water. So touched it, and now, I mean, it's going to stick to my gloves. I can't really get it on. So I'm going to go ahead and dip my gloves in the water, and it's going to be much easier to work with. So I'm just going to waterproof in everything behind here. It will get built up, but once again, since there's going to be a lot of water in here, I just want to take the extra cautionary measures of just really drying this thing in. So yeah, this stuff is already starting to heat up a little bit. So pretty much what you do is you just put it right on and just smear it. Easy enough. And with the water, once again, being your best friend, I mean, it's not sticking to your gloves aside from like a little bit of residue, but it's kind of normal.
Christina, Brad, can I send my video of my enclosure to you that I built? I did a tunnel that was on the wall, just like you did for the Accu monitor. I did after I saw yours, LOL.
Yeah, heck yeah, send it to me, please. I love when I get those messages. I love seeing what you all create. I mean, it's just amazing to see. I mean, I get ideas. I get inspired from whenever somebody sends me that kind of stuff. I really do. So yeah, please send it to me. And I'm planning on doing here in the near future an enclosure review that, you know, if I've inspired a build of yours, I'm going to kind of be going through it and just kind of not necessarily giving it a rating, but just looking at it and seeing the greatness and cool stuff you guys all create too.
PJ Lee, this is great. Thanks, Brad. Edward, how long are the buckets of Zoopoxy good for once they're open?
I don't know. I go through them too quick. I think I want to say it's good for a few years. You do want to keep it not too cold, not over 100 degrees. Yeah, I know temperature could play a role into that as far as longevity. So I'm going to stay a little away from this hole just so I can, I'll fuse in with PVC cement, that pipe I showed you earlier. And then once I do that, I'll Zoopoxy around it and tie it all in that way. And you can really spread it, especially if you have water on, like a decent amount of water on your gloves, and really stretch it, especially for areas that don't get a lot of wear and tear from the animal, or like this. This will all get covered up with XPS board here. Hopefully sometime this week. So this is fun doing a live chat. What do you all think? Is this something I should keep doing in the future? Have it be a one and done? Maybe do some different type of live stuff? Let me know. So some future plans I have with this build too, after I get this waterfall going, I'm going to build a whole tree coming up like this and have branches coming.
Right. In response to you doing the live Bioactive Reptile World, do more. Gary mostly monitors, do more. I always love chilling with the homies.
Thanks, Gary. Thanks, Bio World.
Serenity Dragon, definitely keep them coming. Really enjoyed the live.
It was good seeing you at Monitor Fest, Serenity. Anybody that can make it out next year, it is a great time.
Thomas Works, just finished my second Ackie Enclosure build that I may have copied of your tactics.
All right. Send me some pictures. Instagram's the same as my YouTube channel, Brad's Bioactive Builds. So what I'm doing here is I got the tub, I have a 2x2, and then I have the wall. This part here, I want to go a little bit thicker just because this is where I'm going to get some more pressure and I guess threats of this thing leaking. So I don't want to take any chances. And this tub I had to sand down with a wire brush. You can use, you know, the drill attachment or even a circular saw. Not a circular saw, an angle grinder. They have wire brush attachments for those too. It goes a lot quicker with those.
We got a question. Where is Monitor Fest?
So Monitor Fest is at my friend Brian's house in Illinois. It's in Minooka, Illinois. And it's literally a day, starts at about 2 o'clock, goes till about 2 in the morning. And it's just us hanging out, whether we're talking monitors, whether we're, you know, just talking life, whether we're sharing knowledge. It's a great time. And Brian has a whole like pole barn to where he has all of his verandas and all of his enclosures set up. And some of these enclosures are huge. I mean, it's a pole barn. Some of his enclosures are 10 foot tall. It's one of those things you just got to see. Yeah, we did a check out Mike's Monitors channel on YouTube, and he did a live interview there. It was with Brian Waterloo, Brian Duraca, Adeline Robinson, Cody Kopp. I did an interview with her for a little bit, and a few other people, Alec, and just kind of talking about the fun that they have at Monitor Fest, what it's all about, also some of the projects that they're working on. So, yeah, I had Will Exotic and Ravishing Reptiles coming to town over that weekend. So they flew in from Maryland and Florida to, you know, see what it was all about, and they loved it. They're coming back next year. Those are two stand-up guys. So it's kind of cool with this YouTube thing from time to time, right? Like, you get to meet some of the most interesting and cool people, whether they're content creators or somebody coming up to me in Tinley and saying, "Hey, what's up, Brad? How are you? I watch your channel." And that's just some of the coolest shit, I swear. when I set out to make this channel, it was a way to get video footage to my nephews that like reptiles, but they live in California. So anytime I would try to send them a video, it would come in all distorted. So I figured, okay, I'll go ahead and make a YouTube channel and send them the video that way. Unfortunately, I had to take that video down. It had a copyright claims before I knew any of this background stuff with YouTube and the do's and the don'ts. And it was also a pretty cringy video, although I kind of enjoyed that because it was a learning curve for me on editing and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, that's how I kind of got into doing this. And since then, like I said, I've really been able to meet a lot of amazing people.
Got a couple people in your chat, is Serenity Dragon. Hopefully we get to meet Miss Bioactive build next year.
Hey.
Gary, mostly monitors and a little bioactive build. A mini Brad.
Coming soon, August 5th. I think he's coming before that.
Only need ones with full tap sleeves.
We just had our baby shower. And it was a different kind of like sign-in book, right? And it was, they signed their name, obviously, but then like, what kind of traits are they going to have? Mother's eyes. Somebody wrote father's tattoos. Which I don't know if you know, that's what I used to do for work. I used to be a tattoo artist, and I did that for probably 9 years, something like that. Yeah.
We just got a super chat from Thomas.
Thank you so much, Thomas.
Any chance there will be a cultural, I don't know what that animal is, I'm sorry, build in the future. UROMASYX.
You're a mastic?
Sounds right.
I really do want to get one of those. So I'll let you all in on a little secret. My plan is to build out this room. After I finish this build here, I'll be doing the official raffle of the 4x2 by 2.5 foot enclosure. So whoever wins that, if it's a Euromastic, I'll be doing a build for that. Whatever they want, I'll be building. But my future plans after that is, aside from my own projects, I got a few different options. One is going to be doing builds for people. Obviously, for money, because it's not cheap doing some of this stuff. Another one would be raffling off to my Patreons certain builds, or just continuing to raffle off builds through YouTube as well. I still don't know. It really depends on how well this channel gains traction, because as much as I would love to pay for all of it, if the revenue from YouTube comes in and I just put it right back into the channel, that's what I do right now anyways. But if it grows more, then I have more money coming in through YouTube, that would give me more opportunity to really be able to pretty much take that money and give it back to the subscribers, give it back to the people with raffling off some enclosures. And the way I would work that is I would do polls. I've thought about this. I would do polls to see, what do y'all want to see me build next? Euromastic, Bearded Dragon, Dart Frog, right? And whatever wins is what I would build, and then I would go ahead and raffle it off.
House, yo, pop it in.
Mr. Will Exotic, what up? If y'all aren't subscribed to my man Will, he just put out a pretty cool video. I think it was yesterday. It was 30 days of herping. So this man went herping for 30 days, and I'll leave it like this. He found probably one of the coolest off species that I've ever seen on camera. Right in his own backyard. Well, in his own home state. it was cool. It is cool. So what I'm doing here is I'm just building this down straight. So when I have this, so I'm going to put a ledge right about here so I can still access my pump. So I'm just trying to get a decent amount of coverage. So it's easier for me to work in the future with doing, it sucks trying to work under a ledge and you got water dripping on you. So it's just some of those things you learn as you build. What's my next step? And is it going to be easier if I make coverage now with stuff versus trying to work upside down?
How do you enter the, I think they're saying, how do you enter the?
Yeah, so watch part 1. How do you enter the raffle was the question. Watch part 1 of the, I think it's called the Ultimate Polygem series or the Ultimate Polygem. The thumbnail is pretty much of this enclosure here with a Merton on it, and it's me putting a piece of wood or something. So it goes over in detail on how you can enter to win, and that is pretty much share that video, like, comment, subscribe. There might be one other thing. And then part 3 of this series, if you subscribe to, I'm a big man of paying it forward and paying it back. So part 3 is if you subscribe to Will Exotic and Ravishing Reptile and Riddler Reptiles, send me a screenshot of that on Instagram and you get some raffle tickets to enter to win. So I have on my phone a whole bunch of screenshots of people that have entered in the win, and then I'll put them into a computer generated raffle, and then I'll announce the winner in the last video of this series here. So and then also my Patreons, they get an additional $3 tier and up, they get an additional, I think it was 4 raffle tickets.
Well, telling you he loves you.
Love you too, brother.
Thomas said he'll send you a couple pictures of his Euro build that he's done to give you some inspiration.
Yes, do it. I'm here for it, Thomas. So you can tell putting on the Zoopoxy it's not horrible. It can be a little time consuming, but all things considered, it's probably one of the easiest things to work with. It's the same thing over and over again. And you'll see how I detail it here in the future. So this is done. This is done. It's got the rock look. This is all, fresh. So I got to wait for it to start to harden up here a little bit before I can start working with it. Where do I want to go next?
Oh, you're in between looking for a nice spot. Gary, most monitors, what if you've been subscribed to them forever? And looks like Amy Reptiles Adventure says, that was my question.
I'd like to meet Gary and Amy one of these days. I really would. They sound like some fun, interesting people. I see them a lot of times in the chats, whether it's Will's videos, Alex's, Riddler's, the podcast that happens every other Saturday morning with Mike on Trap Talk Network. They seem like super interesting people. But if you've been subscribed to them, I lost my glove. If you've been subscribed to them for a long time, I know you guys well enough. I trust you. But please, just send me a screenshot that you are. That way I can keep it consistent all the way throughout the raffle. I trust you, like I said, but I do need to make sure that everybody's doing the same thing, enter to win.
Well, Exotic said, and you too, Jess. I didn't forget about you. Much love. So you saw what I mixed up, right? There was just pretty much
2.5 size clay balls or Zoopoxy balls that I made. And the coverage it has. So 10 gallons, it does spread if you make it work. So that's one of the things I hear a lot of times. Oh, it's expensive. Yeah, but one, there's nothing else compared to it. There's not even a second to one there. With that being said, it is a little bit more expensive, definitely more expensive than dry lock, but the possibilities are endless. And if I wanted to right now, so this is a flat surface. If I wanted to build something out, there's a ledge, right? So that's some other cool stuff you can do with it, right? If I wanted to turn that into a plant holder, I can easily just really start forming it. That would be last ditch effort, right? If I already didn't have a cup there, or if I just wanted a little ledge for the monitor to be able to grab onto. There we go, right? So you can just do anything with it on the fly. Like I said, for this coat here, just trying to show you the basics of, you know, the application process. And I wanted to make this video not too long, so working with it does take a little bit of time. So I also wanted to make sure I was able to get through the video. Home stretch until I'll take a quick break, sit down and chat, feed some monitors while this Zoopoxy hardens up a little bit so I can work with it. You know, we're almost getting there. I could probably actually start detailing that right away. Okay, thanks. Yeah, I can detail it. Right. So every batch has a different cure time, I swear. Some of it takes longer. Others is going to be a little bit before it starts to harden up. This is actually pretty good to go, and I'm surprised by that. So that'll gauge the rest of, I guess, how much I make in the future. So what you want to do after you feel it starting to harden up, once again, you want to use water. This makes it super simple to get this fake rock look here, right? Steal some off the wall. So once again, this will all get covered up, but if it doesn't for some reason over here, it might as well have the imprint. And you just put it on after dipping it in water, pull it off. Just keep that rolling. So if you want a little bit more of a rock look, you can just double up on it. So this will actually be visible right here, because what I'm planning on doing is top of the waterfall is going to be here. It's going to be a ledge. I'm going to make a hide underneath the waterfall. At least that's the plan. Sometimes you never know. Builds just kind of take its own course as you start adding to it, which is okay. It's good to have a good vision, a good idea, but I tell you, whenever I start a build and what the finished product looks like, generally not how I originally envisioned it. And what I'm doing too is I'm starting pretty much where I applied first, because that's what's going to be heating up the quickest.
Just apologize that your phone is going in focus and out focus.
Yeah, it's probably shoulder's probably getting in the way. Sorry about that, guys and gals. Got the light. So did y'all learn anything about Zoopoxy today, or?
We learned that Will Exotic has a wonderful hair.
I don't know if y'all heard what my wife just read, but she read the comment about Will Exotic having wonderful hair.
No one commented. Well, there's a few comments.
All right. So, I mean, all said and done, it does go pretty quick. This has been an hour, and I probably covered a decent amount of ground. Let's see, close to 4 square feet. It's also while trying to explain and work on it at the same time and all that fun stuff. When I first started working with epoxy, I'll be honest, I was nervous. I was like, something about epoxy threw me off. And I originally thought Zoopoxy was more like a paint, a liquid, like most epoxies are. Since working with the Polygem Zoopoxy, it's the easiest stuff in the world to work with once you get that learning curve down.
Out.
Hey, go show Jupiter. He's hungry.
Real quick, just in regards to, I've learned a lot from Serenity Dragon. Going to have to try some Zoopoxy in the future. Maybe if I get that Martin from Lite.
Who said that?
Serenity Dragons.
Ah, there you go. He's going to be having F2s coming soon.
Bioactive Reptile World. Can you do a shout out for my channel at Bioactive Reptile World?
Sure thing. Send me all your info to my Instagram.
Will Exotic with the good hair. Can you talk a little bit about the amount and weight it can hold? How far out can ledges project in terms of holding substantial weight?
Yeah, good question, Will. And I know when you were over here and you're talking to somebody that, meaning Will, works out every day, I don't. I had him pushing on Jupiter's ledge that's covered in Zoopoxy. Jupiter is my Uranus coming eye. Yeah, and he really couldn't, I'm sure if he wanted to break it, he could have, but I know, Will, man, you were pushing on that thing pretty darn hard, and it really wasn't budging at all. I know I can sit on it with all my weight. Granted, with anything in life, if you put enough force, it will break, but this stuff is durable as all heck, and light as a feather, especially once it hardens. It reduces in weight in itself too. So.
And what supports do you usually use? Foams, wood?
You can use whatever you want. You can use, for support systems, you can use foam. Like this is just straight foam here that I went ahead and spray foamed on. It's actually, there's going to be water coming out of here too from my filtration system. If you wanted to anchor in some shelves and put some wood boards on top of it, you can do that as well. Anything that's super smooth, you're going to want to sand down a little bit, just so it has a little bit more of a rougher surface for the Zoopoxy to bond to a little bit better. Not necessary, but you definitely want to, it can't hurt to do.
For Maddie, have you used any other Zoopoxy products besides 307 Lite?
Yeah, good question. So before I answer that one, Maddie, this is just a natural sea sponge. It adds a little bit more texture just to break everything up a little bit and kind of make it look a little porous. And then Maddie, so yeah, I've used 1618, which is their clear epoxy. I use that on the inside of the nest box on this build here, which I can show you when I'm done with this. And I have not used, and it was advised not to use it, which is pretty much the stuff that they use for water. This stuff works fine. You just got to add it on a little bit thicker because the stuff for water, it almost hardens a little rubbery. And with the varanded nails, eventually they'll probably dig right through it.
From Hot Rods and Herbs, once you're done scoping and painting it, do you use their clear epoxy coat for the final seal?
Good question, Hot Rods and Herbs. No. I literally just paint over the top of it and it's done. I used to use Drylock because I like the sandy grit look to it. But I think with this one here, I'm going to skip using the Drylock. And the Drylock wasn't to waterproof anything. It was just, like I said, that texture, the sand on it. So for this one here, I'm just going to use straight acrylic matte paint. You want to use a matte, it's a more natural looking paint. And I wasn't sure, and people I've talked with that have used it in the past, I thought maybe it would wash off, and they haven't seen that happen. I don't know if y'all have seen my earless build. I just put it out. It's my second to last video, which is, there's a whole water portion, and I used acrylic paints all in the water section along with the land section, and it doesn't wash off. Jupiter's enclosure, the top coat was all acrylic paints, and I mean, he scratches and digs into that thing, the Hardscape, and nothing is flaked off, chipped off, come off, washed off. So, and the acrylics are safe too, non-toxic. Drylock, the Quickcrete you put in, you really got to make sure that you wash down the enclosure, the Hardscape, pretty extensively, because it's the Drylock, the Quickcrete, is what causes plants to die. And there's some kind of chemical in there that you need to wash away the residue.
DJ asked, where can I get Zoopoxy?
Yeah. So Polygem is the company. In the thumbnail on one of my builds, it's the second one of huge vivarium that I did for my Varanus coming eye. I have all the links right there in the description. So there's two links. One is for the Zoopoxy, the part A, part B, which you saw earlier. And then the link right below it is going to be for the thickening agent. That's probably the quickest and easiest way to get to the links. Otherwise, I mean, their website can honestly be a little confusing to navigate through. So that's how I apply all the Zoopoxy. It's on. It's ready for me to start building out this waterfall that'll be coming down. I wanted to get the whole back kind of taken care of, drying all that in. So I'd like to give a shout out to my wife for helping me with this. I think she is going to be running upstairs taking care of a few things, and I'll take the phone from you. So thanks, babe. All right. Oh, perfect. All right, so give me a quick minute. Computer up. All right. Will says, what do you think of the UK? I love the UK. I know what you're getting at, Will, but I went over to Italy and Spain about 2 years ago, kind of like right in the middle of COVID. And the history there is purely amazing. It's awesome. And Hot Rod.
Not sponsored.
Yeah, not sponsored. Thanks, man. Hot Rod says, that's great to know. When did the foam background to the green? Oh, when I did the foam background for my green anaconda, I painted it and used a flat clear sealer. It turned out okay, but it did have that little shine. Yeah, so that's why I don't use like clear sealers, because 9 times out of 10 it's going to have that gloss look to it, which me personally, if I can get away with another option, I'll do that. So I'll actually show you here real quick, Hot Rod, what Jupiter's enclosure currently looks like. So here it is. Get back, buddy. He's always wanting to come out. Come on. I'll give him a rat while we're at it. Come on, over here. Come here. So yeah, I mean, that looks super, not glossy, more of that matte look, more rock look, and more natural. All right. Mo says, I love the UK. Yeah, buddy. Rizzler goes to bed at 9 o'clock. That he does. Also, from Will, also congrats on 5K. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. It's been, like I was saying earlier, it's been a fun journey doing this whole YouTube thing. I was never expecting to be a content creator and putting out videos like I was saying. And honestly, it's fun. I do enjoy it. I've learned, I'm all about learning new stuff, and just the editing aspect, the uploading and everything that goes into being a content creator. It's a lot of work. Oh my God. Like I remember watching videos, and I'd be watching somebody's video and I'd be like, oh, well, they should have done this. They should have done that. They should have added X, Y, and Z. After creating my own content, that's so much to ask of these people when I was watching their videos, because of the amount of work that goes into it. And even sometimes with the, you know, the stuff I put out after I upload a video, it's uploaded and you can't edit it anymore. And I'll watch a video sometimes, you know, a few months later, a year later that I did, I'm like, oh, I totally should have done this or that. So it happens to me as well. I think Gary's taken off from what I'm reading from Amy. Have a good one, Gary, if you're leaving the chat. Yep, take care. And Will says, dude, so much work. Where did you get the stone silicone stamp? So right on Amazon. When I do the Hardscape video of this one here, I will go ahead and add it in the description, the link to it. If you want to shoot me a message on Instagram, I can send it to you there as well. Yeah, they have stone ones, they have bark ones, which I'm going to be ordering for the tree to be able to kind of detail and fine tune that one in. Kids are the most expensive pets. I'll be finding out here soon. Thanks, Serenity. We just finished putting together the nursery. So that's been a fun project in itself. Besides you know, doing that, remodeling one of the bathrooms, building out these enclosures, and just taking care of the animals, and then working a full-time job. My schedule is pretty sometimes by minute, right? What's my next task or project that I need to do? Mm-hmm. So is there any other questions you guys have? This has been fun. I enjoy it. I'm thinking about doing some more lives here in the future. It may not be like this one unless y'all want to see more work in the actual paludarium real time. Some of it can just be kind of hanging out with you guys, chatting, talking. It could be feeding some of the animals. It could be kind of seeing some of the behind the scenes stuff that I do on a daily basis as far as, you know, the maintenance with all these enclosures. And that's why I focus so much on making it easy for myself to maintain everything between water changes and automatic systems as far as misters and foggers, having everything on switches. I see you, buddy. I know he's hungry. Come here. Get back. So you let me know if this is something I should keep doing. Like I said, it is fun. Try and get my camera. There we go. They are always hungry, Serenity. How's your water monitor doing? So Bioactive Reptile World. I use InShot. I do all my editing right on my phone. I know Will's gonna hate me for saying that. He does it on the computer. I enjoy, like I said, my life is pretty busy. So I enjoy after doing all the work in the reptile room, recording and building out, you know, the enclosure. I do a lot of my editing between 9 and 1 o'clock in the morning as I'm winding down for the day, and I can just do it right there on my phone. So, but yeah, the app is called InShot, and you can also use some other editing software, but I find that one to be the best one for being on the phone. What was, I see something with glass being crystal clear. Let me scroll up. Good question, Serenity. I was wondering the same thing. The glass seems to be crystal clear. And going up. How do you keep Jupiter's glass so clean? JoJo's is awful. So, I mean, I clean it. There's no other way around that one. I clean it, especially with having the dirt on the bottom. I did clean it right before this live stream. And I usually, the way I do it is I do water changes daily, sometimes every other day. And once I dump the actual water from his tub, when I fill it up, that's when I go ahead and just wipe down the glass as the tub is filling up. Makes it pretty easy. Although my blue tree stays really clean. Oh, he just came out. He's been kind of tucked away. Let me see. So that's Neptune, aka Blue. He was produced by Brian over at Sundown Reptiles. Captive bred. All my animals are captive bred. I figure it just eliminates the risk of bringing in parasites to the room and all that kind of stuff and whatnot. And go ahead and show you. So I got my earless in here for now. He is still kind of small, but I'll go ahead and see how he's doing. Pull him out for y'all. Let me just adjust the tripod. So I can't wait to get him out of here. Hopefully in the next 2 months or so. He'll go into the enclosure I just built for him. Super cool animal. Like I said in that video, dream species of mine. Ever since I saw a picture of one of them, I just knew one day I'd like to own one. The opportunity presented itself, and I jumped on it. So that's Earl. Officially went with the name Earl. Earl the earless monitor. Lanthanotus boreensis. Oh, they're always hungry. Where are we? Maybe 1 sec. Let me shut this door over here. Whole fish or monitors? Best prey, in my opinion. Whole fish. Phone can't block pop up. Earless are sick. Yes, they are. I mean, yeah, like I was just saying, just hands down, point blank, one of the coolest animals that I've been able to care for. Have you had any issues with shipping from Polygem Zoopoxy? I remember hearing mixed reviews and some reptile message boards. Thanks. I haven't heard of any issues with shipping Zoopoxy, but then again, they're only about 30-40 minutes from my house, so I just go there and pick it up myself. Although this batch I got did come from their Pittsburgh facility, so I guess it was shipped to the Chicagoland, and I picked it up from there. So, yeah, I didn't notice an issue with it. Since they aren't a varanid, does that mean they aren't a true monitor? Correct. Yeah, to my knowledge, they're not technically a varanid. They're in its own species. Lanthanotus boreensis, I know that they at one point thought that they were like Gila monsters or bearded lizards closely related to them. And they found out that they're in their own category. So, yeah, they got a wicked bite. I haven't gotten tagged yet. From what I know, they are venomous, rear fang. I've seen them do some death rolls when I feed them some night crawlers, so that's pretty cool to watch. When I do put him in his enclosure officially, I'm going to go and do a whole video on that, between the feeding, between putting them in, between them just kind of swimming around, because, I mean, not a lot of people have footage of them. I know there's some people over in the UK that are working with them. But as far as having like YouTube videos out with the earless monitors, I really haven't seen too many, and they're such a cool species to witness some of their behaviors. They do hide a lot. They are more nocturnal, but when they do come out, especially during feeding time, they're savage. They are savage. Very, yeah, I don't know where YouTube is with me swearing on live streams and stuff, but I almost dropped an F-bomb there. So yeah, I am kind of thinking about doing this as like a monthly check-in, maybe at the end of the month on Sunday nights. I was going to go ahead and purchase StreamYard last night. I was trying to cram. I already had this live stream set and scheduled. And I went to pay for the StreamYard, and they wanted like $50. So I may, if I do keep doing it until this builds up this channel, or if I get like a whole bunch of super chats and stuff, if I continue doing this in the future, it will be on YouTube's platform until, you know, it kind of builds up a little bit there. And then I would look at getting StreamYard, and I'll be able to post all the questions as I'm reading them instead of going through the chat. So I can just kind of answer the question instead of, you know, reading it to you all. Some of the future plans I do have with Brad's Bioactive builds and the facility that I have here, I'm most likely going to be getting rid of my Ackie enclosure. I have a good friend of mine that he had lost a tegu that was near and dear to him. Looking to kind of build some more space here, and I think it would be he would be going to a good keeper. So if that happens, that's where the Ackie enclosure will be going. And then that'll give me some room to build maybe some Kimberly rock enclosures, maybe a black tree monitor, or just doing a whole bunch of smaller enclosures to where I can do some smaller species and stuff. So still trying to figure out some ideas there. So yeah, I think that's a good place to stop after I run through some of these last couple of questions. I want to get my first monitor. What do you recommend for a little above a beginner reptile keeper? With that, I think the best way to go about it is getting what you want as long as you can house it correctly. Like, I don't suggest getting, like, so most people say an Ackie monitor, right, is a good beginner monitor, which I agree with. But if you don't like Ackie monitors, don't get an Ackie monitor. Maybe get a Kimberly Rock or even a tree monitor. If you give it your all, you'll be successful. So I know even when I got back into monitors, one of my first ones was an Ackie. My blue tree, which a lot of people said, oh, you need to be expert level to do it. Well, I put a lot of my time into working with them, and also I did a lot of research and talking with a lot of people that I've respected in the hobby for a long time. So I think as long as you do that, you'll be successful with whatever you get. Now, definitely get captive bred, especially like I see so many people get their first monitor, and it's a Savannah that got at a reptile show for 20 or 30 bucks, right? Well, that thing is already coming in riddled with parasites. It's probably dehydrated. It's not in the best shape. So with that being said, the thing is most likely going to pass away in 2 to 3 to 4 weeks. And now you as a keeper is going to be frustrated and upset and, maybe discouraged with something that was never meant to live from the beginning because of the issues it would have had coming into the States or just being caught, wild caught to wherever you are, whether it's UK, Canada, United States, doesn't matter. If it's wild caught, 9 times out of 10, you're going to have a much harder time keeping that animal alive. And then you got to figure in, vet bills and stuff. So long story, long answer, get what you want, do the research, and put the time into it and talk to people that you trust. Home Depot could be a sponsor for you. Thanks, Christina. I've been there constantly. It's my new favorite store, right? 100%. So I got Home Depot, Menards, and Lowe's by me. And I can walk through there, and I'm helping out just customers, showing them where the PVC is or where, this weird fitting for a pipe is, if they're looking. Because, when you do DIY building, you have to think outside of the box. Like, I use just pretty much everything in this room, unless it's a glass enclosure that I bought, I built with my own 2 hands. So with that, you got to kind of, think about what it is you want to achieve, and then hope to God the hardware store has a part or kind of fabricate something to make it work for you. So I'll talk to Home Depot. And Ackie, yep, Amy just said Akkie's a good beginner monitor, and they are pretty chill. Serenity says, weirdly, I don't like Ackies, but now I'm getting interested in them. I was kind of the same way, Serenity. I love my Ackie. She's a hoot. She's cool. She's bold. And I would say for temperament, it's pretty chill. Like my Coming Eye Asian water monitor, he's a puppy dog. He's super cool. My blue tree can be flighty. It really depends on the day. He's either super willing to investigate and climb out onto my arm, or other days, he just wants nothing to do with me. My Mertens, my female, she's a hoot. She comes out onto my arm. I put her back in her enclosure. She runs back, and it's just back and forth tennis match. My male Merton, he's more of a brute. He's starting to come around. He's starting to gain some confidence as they get bigger. And I think that's one of the advantages of working with Varandas at a younger age is you get to learn them, but then they also get to learn you, and you get to build that confidence. And as they get older, they get a little bit more chill, right? Bioactive reptiles, yep, no problem, man. I'm glad that you find the video helpful. Serenity, it's like you got into with some dude at the expo last week. They refused to spend the money on captive bred, but we're complaining about their monitor not eating and, yep, being defensive, 100%. Captive bred is always the best, yep. So, yeah, I think we're going to go ahead and end the live chat there. Thank you all for joining and just kind of, one, listening to me ramble, two, just kind of showing you some of the behind the scenes on how I work with Zoopoxy, the application process of it, future plans. Got to feed the coming eye here, Jupiter, a little bit. This was cool. This was fun. I look forward to doing it here in the future, and I'll see you all in the next one. Thanks. I appreciate it.